Hello, my darlings. Nicky Alan here, psychic medium and author. If you have found me, then you have found another dimension. If you love anything about the afterlife, paranormal, supernatural, spiritual development, angels, you are in the right place, my lovelies. Oh, yes, because I cover everything that you could possibly imagine. So sit tight, lock yourself in, and get those earphones on if you need them, and enjoy my SOULSPACE podcast. And today, we're going to be talking about one of my favourite subjects, crystals. Now, let me tell you how I got introduced to crystals. As I always do, how I got introduced to angels, how I got introduced to the spirit world. That was my dad 2 days after he died. But crystals. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. As you know, I always keep it real. With crystals, I just thought they were useless lumps of rock that looked pretty, and someone decided to just say, oh, yeah, they're good for you to do this, or they got this property. And I thought, how has a lump of stone possibly got any way to help you? It's just a load of old BS. It's what I thought, to be honest with you. And so what happened was, and sorry about the gents, you just have to kind of like forward this bit, but I was in hospital with really severe gynae issues. And if you're an empath, ladies, you will totally know that this is one of our major symptoms. I'd have no clue why, including chronic fatigue and pain. We just don't sit well in our meat suits as high vibrational empaths and light workers. And so gynae is also one of them. I don't know if the energy doesn't resonate very well with us, with the hormonal factor of it, but there you go. So I was in and out of hospital for 3 months, and my friend came up. I said, oh, can you get us some reading material? I am bored silly. And in those days, it was like, I was with a load of old farts. It was just so boring. And so I said, yeah, bring us some stuff up. Now, I'm thinking she's going to bring some magazines up so I can get a bit of celeb gossip. I'm thinking exciting stuff like that. Nice little romantic novel. No, she brings up a crystal Bible. And I'm like, oh, right, okay, great. But let me just whirl you back to 3 days before I got admitted into hospital on this occasion. And that crystal Bible changed my life. So we're whirling back now to 3 days before, and I was in a circle. And we went into meditation, and normally, I wasn't running the circle. I was actually attending it. And normally I would just have the most incredible meditations, be taken to the most breathtaking places and come back feeling amazing. But my dad said, hello, darling, which he always does. Hello, darling. So I'm like, oh, hello, Dad. I thought, oh, this is lovely. My dad's there. He's going to have a little chat with me. But he looked really, really concerned. And I felt this sudden feeling of anticipation, of anxiety. And I thought, oh, Christ, what's going on here? And he put his hand out, and he had a black square. That was it. A black square in the palm of his hand. And I thought, what the hell is that? I thought, it's nothing good. And then this amber, it was a lump of amber, just started manifesting itself on the tip of his fingers. And he said, use this. And I'm like, what the hell is that all about? I just didn't know what he meant. And I was trying to communicate with him further to work out what the black square on the palm of his hand meant. And I just came out of the meditation feeling really concerned. And I said to the circle leader, what do you think that is? And she said, oh, is it part of the crossword? I'm like, no, I don't think so, love. Didn't spend much time in that circle after that. It's part of the crossword. And I thought, no, it means black to me means potential trauma or bad news or something I'm not going to sit very well with. And then I said, what about the amber? And nobody really knew. And I thought, why would he show me a lump of amber? I just don't get it. And I just trying to work it out. But then literally within about half an hour of trying to work out what it was all about, I thought, God, I need to go to the loo. Again, sorry about this, guys, but I had really severe cystitis. It came on really quickly and I was in agony. The following day, it got worse and I was in a lot of pain. And then the following day in the morning, I had clients, and some of them had come from Yorkshire, and I was living in Essex at the time. And I felt so guilty. I thought I cannot cancel them. So I made a deal with the spirit world and said, please, please let me communicate with these people and their, their spirit loved ones. And I swear I will go to the doctors afterwards. How I got through those readings, I don't know. Well, I do know. I think the spirit world took away the pain, which they normally do, because I feel the essence of the spirit person communicating as opposed to, what's going on with my ailments. And then as soon as I break the link, my human ailments come back. So I literally closed down after the reading. There were 3 ladies, the mum and 2 daughters, and I closed the reading down. And I'm suddenly in the worst agonizing pain. Oh my God, I just couldn't even begin to tell you. So I then tried to be polite. Normally I'd give him a cup of tea, but I was like ushering him out the door, and I literally collapsed on the floor. I called my uncle up at the time and said, can you please get me to the hospital? I'm in agony. I didn't want to call an ambulance. So I got there and I was screaming the place down, and they jabbed me with literally a morphine injection. That's how much pain I was in. And so that's me in hospital. So my friend turns up, extra to say, bring me some stuff. And now we're at the Crystal Bible time. And so I'm like, oh, really? I said, don't want to be ungrateful. I said, but I don't want to be doing my work in the hospital. I was high as a kite anyway on morphine. It was delicious and bored. And I'm like, oh, all right. I said, that's really nice of you. Thank you. She goes, I'm so sorry. And there was a book on angels, which was lovely, but I just needed something light. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we had a chat, and then off she went. And then suddenly a thought came into my head, which was most probably my dad. I wouldn't know because I was off my face. And I said, look up Amber. I thought, oh my God, yes. This led up to me collapsing, and he showed me a lump of amber. And incredibly, I just could not believe it. When I looked up amber, one of its main properties is healing the reproductive system and the urinary system. I could not believe it, because they were suspecting that I had cancer, either of the urinary system or the reproductive system. So I went through the most awful, awful tests. And I couldn't believe that he'd said about this amber. So I text my friend and said, I know this is really weird. I'll pay you when I get out. Could you please get me a lump of amber? And purely because my dad introduced me to that stone in that meditation, and it turned out that that was what was going to heal me or help heal my condition, I was hooked from then on. So while I was in the hospital for the next couple of months, I started looking at that Bible, and it's the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. I really recommend it. It's so easy to look up what you need. It's very straightforward. It's not a difficult Bible to negotiate around. It's not a Bible, but you know what I mean. She calls it Crystal Bible. And it's a really helpful. She's got loads of them out now that have got various gemstones in them. So I started getting really, really interested in them. Again, it was all organic. It came from them above, from my dad in the spirit world. I didn't think, I best get some crystals because this is what they do. And literally I started looking, and I thought, what about psychic development? What about third eye? And then obviously amethyst came up, and then I saw, what about this? What about that? What about hormonal balance? And I ended up just literally having my whole house covered in crystals wherever I went. And to be honest with you, the next time that I was shown it was through Catherine, my guide. And, I can't remember if I actually put this in my book, Me, Myself, and I don't think I did. I'm not sure. I could have done. Catherine came to me when I was sitting in the White Springs in Glastonbury, and she held out her hand, and she can be a hag, which she used to be when she did all her herbal work, or she can be the beautiful Catherine, depends on what she's addressing. And so basically I was in the White Spring, and suddenly I normally connect with Archangel Michael because that's his main ley line in the White Spring at Glastonbury. However, Catherine rocks up, one of my guides who helps me with psychic work and prophecy, things like that. And, crystals, obviously, elixirs. And she was a hag. So I thought, oh, got to listen up. It's the same as Juliana. So when he puts his hood up, I have to pay attention. It's exactly the same with Catherine. And so she said, heed these crystals, go and get them. Right. I'm thinking, do you know how much money I've got in my bank account, love? Just telling me to get these crystals, especially in Glastonbury. They're like 6 million times the price. So I found this lovely little crystal shop and I was a regular in there. She knew me very well. So she did, help me out a bit when it came to the price. And so she showed me a raw ruby. Didn't even know that existed. I had no clue whatsoever what a raw ruby was for. Didn't even know, all I know is the red shiny ruby that people have in their, their rings and their jewelry. And then she showed me a sodalite. Never heard of it in my life. Had no clue what it was about. I never didn't even know it existed. And so she said, go and get these. And then I went in there and I said, have you got sodalite or sodalite? She goes, oh, yeah. And I said, what is it? She goes, oh, it helps to go into higher dimensions, especially the angel realms. I'm like, oh my God, brilliant. So I had that. And then the raw ruby was about getting through change and helping you to motivate you to make change. And incredibly, when I next connected with Archangel Michael using that sodalite, I was told it's time to move on. You need to move house now. And if this is definitely in my book, me, myself, and I then had the Sparrowhawk land in my house and I pulled an Archangel Michael card and it said about moving on this end of this is the end of an era, you need to move on. And I was like, oh my goodness. So on that turn of that card, I put my house up for sale. That was when I was in Somerset. And I had those crystals on me throughout the whole time that I was doing the move because they were exactly what I needed to have the strength because of my condition with my ME and fibromyalgia to get through the removal and to connect with the angels, work with intuition. And so to me, they are precious. Now, when I don't know a lot about them in respect of how they work, it's like, as I always say, Juliana says, if you turn on the television, do you refuse to accept it because you don't know how it works? How do the images, how does the volume come out, blah, blah, blah. And it's exactly the same with crystals. As far as I know about crystals, they have ions in them or ions in them that resonate with frequency. You've got to remember when we think out the box of humanity terms that we resonate with sound, light, frequency and vibration, okay? So what happens is that crystals resonate a certain energy that will then connect and collaborate with frequencies in our body. So, for instance, if I want, just say that I am depressed and I'm really finding it hard and I'm really got emotional issues going on, just say that, for instance, then I would get a rose quartz. And the rose quartz works with the heart chakra and it helps to bring positivity back and it helps to alleviate depression. And the particular resonance of that crystal will vibrate with that chakra point. It's really incredible how it works. It really is. I also, at this juncture, want to say that I don't go and get the cheap crystals because they're the ones that are callously blasted out of rock all around the world. There are certain crystals that you can get that are carefully mined without damaging the earth, and they're the ones I always purchase. So how do we go about introducing ourselves to crystals? The best way to do it is if, listen to me, of course, darlings. I'll give you a guide on some of the basic crystals. Get yourself a crystal guide or just walk into a New Age shop. Now, of course, you can order crystals online. However, I used to do this with my students on retreats. There used to be a beautiful shop in Scotland where we used to show them how to pick a crystal. And it's a bit like Harry Potter in Ollivander's wand shop. Do you know when the wand picks you? Oh my God, I'm so sad sometimes. Basically, the crystals will pick you. So go into the shop. If you don't know where to start, perhaps you do. Let's say you do. Let's say that you want to get an amethyst crystal because Nicky Alan has told you that's really good for spiritual development. It's really good for grief and many other properties, okay? Open your third eye up. So you go to the amethyst, and normally in crystal shops, they're like big trays of like loads of the same amethyst, and they're all named, and they're just everywhere. So what you do is you first of all you can either go by your sight or by feeling. I do both. So what I do is I hover my hand over the crystals incredibly, as I'm saying this, the palm of my hand is starting to fizz up because my body's reacting to me talking about this. That's incredible. I'll have to shove a crystal in it in a minute. So basically, go put your hand over the crystals and you'll find that you'll get a warm fizzing sensation go through the center of your palm. Mine's actually activated now. That's incredible. Okay. Just shows you the power of the mind, intention, and the energy. So what happens is that you will feel, and you will feel it. And I used to watch people's eyes just lighten up and go, oh my goodness. Okay, you will feel the resonance of those crystals and it will pick you. There's a couple of them. That's absolutely fine. I'll tell you what to do. So look at the crystal, feel it with the palm of your hand and grab it, right? And keep it in your hand. If there's any more that you feel you need to grab, do that as well. And then all you do is either get someone who's with you to do it or do it yourself. Then put the crystal in your hand and place it about an inch above the middle of the palm of your hand. Okay, just shut all your senses down and just feel that crystal, if there's two, for instance, and you will feel the heat and the fizzing of that crystal. Okay. And then literally the one that gives you the strongest vibration, you just know. You will just grab it and think, I just know. The other thing is, if you are going in and you don't know what crystals to have, your intuition, your guides, whether you're aware of them or not, will go, oh my God, go and get that. Have you ever walked in a shop, like, clothes shopping, and you just go up to something and the color and the fabric, you go, oh my God, I've got to have it. And perhaps you haven't got enough money or, you just think, I don't care, I have to have that. It's just singing to me. That's what crystals do. Okay, so just move, just mooch around and have a look. They can come in two different forms. They can come in a polished way, which is like all nice and done. The thing is with polished crystals is that, they've been interfered with humans because they've been polished, tumbled, and they're kind of like, all looking pretty, which is fine because I've got lots of that, especially selenite. It's such a delicate crystal that lots of it has, it kind of flakes very easily. So they tend to gently mold them into balls. I've got egg shapes. I've got wands, all sorts of things. So it depends on the delicacy of the crystal because some of them are very delicate. Or you can get the rough stones, which I particularly love because they literally are as they've come out the ground and they're presented in the shop and you just grab them. But again, go with what your intuition says. Go with what that inside of you says, oh my God, I've got to have that one. If you're attracted to a crystal, it doesn't matter. Most New Age shops will have crystal Bibles, and most New Age owners, of the shop will absolutely be an expert on crystals and let you know. I do not profess to be an expert on crystals at all. I'm just sharing with you my knowledge and how they've helped me. And, some people may say it's a placebo because, I've got this crystal and it's going to help me with this. Do you know what? If it works, who cares? Do you know what I mean? There's the scientific version of it. There's the New Age version of it. And there's a spiritual version of it. And then perhaps there is some form of mental conditioning, but who cares? I adore them. In fact, as I look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Without even moving, I can see 10 crystals in front of me. Most of them are selenite, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But they bring energy to you. They can also bring energy to your living area, to your bedroom area for sleep and rest. They can be produced in all different ways. So we're talking about the polished and we're talking about the rough version, but a lot of them, and this is where the market is for them, is in jewelry. And I'm going to give you a tip in a minute on how to get really cheap crystals, but a lot of them are placed in jewelry. And yes, they are set in whatever they're set in, silver, gold, platinum, whatever. And yes, they're massively polished unless, you're getting the rough version in a pendant. But that doesn't matter because I love crystal jewelry. And, by all means, buy it. Lots of people put them in their bras for girls, obviously, or lays. I don't know I'm not even going to get involved in that. Basically, people can hold them in their bras, in their vests, so they're near the heart chakras. People have little crystal bags that they just put over their neck and put under their top. Men put them in their, pockets. It just depends on what you're buying, what you need it for, and whether you need it with you all the time. Okay. As I say, jewelry's great because you can put it on your finger, put it under as a bracelet, necklace, earrings, whatever, and it's sitting there doing its thing, no matter how small it is. So the size doesn't matter either. That's really important. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little bit of amethyst or a big, massive cavern. It's doing what it's supposed to do on whatever level you require it to be, if that makes sense. As I say, some of them are absolutely stunningly beautiful. If you look at labradorite, it is just the most stunning blue, shiny, translucent greens, silvers. There's some absolutely awesome crystals out there. And if I won the lottery, I would buy myself like one of the 5-foot amethyst caverns. That's what I've always wanted, always, which are huge, giant rocks of um, amethyst that are then cut in like a cave, and they're just full of amethyst and agate normally and things like that. And oh my goodness, that would be a joy to have one of those. But at the moment, I just have little mini ones until I can be frivolous with pennies again. So you can wear them in jewelry. Even people have them. They have flakes of crystals and put them in a tube that's held within a water bottle. So your water is enhanced with the properties of that crystal. There are all different ways that you can work with crystals and have them with you. People take up crystal healing courses and use the crystals to help manifest energy from the healer through the crystal to the recipient. It depends how seriously you want to go with them. For instance, there are various stones that work with chakras, certain points. So for instance, if sometimes I just have a rose quartz in my bra, which is great because that covers the heart chakra. Sometimes I'll have a labradorite in my bra, and as people say, well, no, labradorite's supposed to work on the crown chakra. So it depends how deep you want to go into it. Personally, I just use what I want to use when I want to use it, and I go by intuition. So I'll just wake up some days and think, I need to have this stone on me. And then incredibly, by the end of the day, I think, now I know why that stone's there. I always have Himalayan salt. I know this isn't really deemed as a crystal, but I have huge Himalayan salt crystal lamps as well to help ionize the air. And this also helps to vibrate all the crystals. Next, I'm going to tell you about how to look after your crystals and some of the properties that the go-to crystals that you'll need in your arsenal for every day-to-day basis. Darlings, just to let you know, if you go to my website, nickyalan.co.uk, a pop-up will pop up. Yes, it will. It'll pop up. And it will give you the opportunity to join my subscribe tribe, where you will receive newsletters. These give you loads of personal anecdotes of what's happened in the week. I also love to give you giveaways and give you inspiration, spiritual talk, and also a beautiful little angel card reading at the end. It really is building into a wonderful community, just the newsletter in itself. Don't forget, I'm on YouTube as well, where I give you loads of different videos to help you in your spiritual development and awareness of the angels. And just an exclusive for you, there'll be a new Channeling Heaven program where I shall be literally going up to the Crystal Palace and bringing direct messages to you from the angel realms and the spirit world to help humanity. And on top of that, if you really do want to take spiritual development a stage further, have a look at my shop where I provide many guided meditations for your development. We have the 10-hour tarot course, the Prism Living spiritual development course. We have the QR tarot cards, which are wonderful, and loads of other stuff, including my books if you'd like a signed version. So pop over to the shop area of my website where you can just delight yourself in buying all sorts of wonderful spiritual things. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And I look forward to connecting with you both in my tribe on YouTube and through my newsletter. So now you've been into the shop, or you've looked in your crystal Bible, or you've been told by the New Age person or me what crystals to get. It's really easy. If you say like you get migraines, just you look up migraines, even Google it, best crystals for migraines, and there it shall be. And then you just pop in and find your crystals. Please don't worry though, if you haven't got a New Age shop locally, or, you can't get out, it will just be whatever crystal was sent to you. But this is the great bit about that bit. If you do have to go online, is you can activate the crystal to your energy. Okay. Now, this is going to be hard for me to explain because I can naturally do it. I've been able to do it since I was a kid. So I put it in my hand, and literally my hand naturally, as I said to you earlier, it started fizzing up because I was talking about crystals, fizzes up, goes hot, and I align the crystal with my energy. So this is what you need to do. Just sit down quietly. Okay. Oh my God, it started again. I can't believe it. You put the crystal in the palm of your hand, and you will feel a pulsating, right? Trust me, you will feel it, right? And literally let it pulse and let it heat up. And all you do is concentrate on that crystal in your hand, heating up and pulsating. This is where you need to listen to your intuition, because your intuition will say to you, it's done. And it's as simple as that. Okay. It's as simple as peas. So literally, that is how you resonate or activate that crystal with your energy. There's no special ceremony. You don't have to do anything, like just do that. Now, how do you look after your crystal? Now, the biggest go-to how you're going to remember this, any crystal that ends in ite, I-T-E, do not put underwater. The only exception to the rule is rose quartz. I could be wrong. There could be another random one out that you don't put in water, but you do not cleanse rose quartz and anything ending in ite in water. Okay. Now, personally, what I do, because I only live across the road from the beach, I get all of my crystals that can be cleansed in water. And if you're doing it in salt water, rock water, rock salt water, sea salt water, it's the best way to do it, right? Salt is just the biggest cleanser of everything. So what I do is I've got a net, right? And I put all my crystals in there, and I take them into the sea, and I drop them in the sea, and I just literally say, I normally call Mother Gaia, Archangel Ariel, the Archangel of the planet, animal kingdom, blah, blah, blah. And I just say, could you please activate these crystals? It doesn't matter because they're already activating. It's just me sending a little extra prayer there. There's no massive ceremony here. Keep it simple, keep it real. So then I leave them in there. If it's a beautiful day, I just watch the waves ebb and flow over the crystals and just think, oh my God, this is amazing. I then let them dry in the sun, and then to me, they're activated unless they've got a lot of salt compound on them, and then I'll rinse them off in water. The other thing is I'm also very lucky that I have lakes opposite me that have got waterfalls. So depending on where you are and what access you've got, again, fresh waterfalls are just diamond because they're running over rocks, they're running over Mother Gaia's territory, and it's perfect to activate them there. Okay, so they can be activated in that way. They're basically like batteries. So they go flat and you have to like use them up again. Again, let me tell you that this isn't me because I've read up on it. I remember getting a pre-night stone, right? Because it's the healing stone for healers. And I thought I'll have some of that. And I could not, and I had it during my 5 years in bed, right? I could not believe that after about 6 months, it was filled with black. And that was all the crap of what was going on inside my body oozing into the crystal. And in the end, I had to bury it and give it back to the land because it was full of black. I couldn't believe it. And even when I healed Mina's tumor, which I mentioned in my book as well, my dog's tumor with a selenite wand, it cracked at the ends. So you will physically see things happen to that. I'll tell you about all these in a minute, but clear quartz crystals, I put them everywhere near electricity so that they don't, kind of invade my energy too much. And they fill up with grey, black, and it's like dust inside. I just can't believe it. They absorb the energy. So you have to cleanse them and reactivate them. Okay. So what do you do with crystals that you can't put in water? Do you know what? Even if you haven't got all that pomp and circumstance, whack them under the tap. Just whack them under the water, feel them fizz in your hands, use your intuition to know they're reactivated. Okay. It's a really close, intimate relationship you'll have with your crystals. I know it sounds really wrong on every level, but it's true. You'll feel them, you'll know them. And it's almost like if someone else picks them up, it feels like someone's invading your territory. It's really weird. So for the ite crystals and rose quartz, we cannot put them underwater. Remember that. So how do we do it? I've got all of my crystals that I'm going to be wearing to the G6 conference in Orlando in a couple of days' time. Whoop, whoop. the Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection. If you want to go there, if you live near Florida, I'll see you there, or near Orlando. So I've got them all at the moment on the windowsill, and they are all absorbing sunlight. Okay. A lot of the ite crystals as well work and resonate very well and are charged by the moon. When you have a full moon, even if it isn't an ite crystal, get them all out. So if it's a summer's day, I lay a blanket on the ground, lay a blanket on the ground. Oh my God, that's a song my mum used to sing. Sorry about that. And I literally get every single crystal, which takes ages, out of the house, and I lay them out in the full moon. So it's a nice, summer's evening. There's going to be no rain. Nobody's going to interfere with the stones. I put them all out, lay them on the grass, and I literally let the full moon do its magic. If not, put them on the windowsill on a full moon or any moon, but the full moon really is the best way to activate them or to cleanse them. Okay. Now, I don't want to get too involved because, I want to keep it simple, but you can also activate and cleanse crystals with other crystals. I'll just give you two so we don't get too down the rabbit hole of, everything you need to know about crystals. One is clear quartz. If you put crystals on that or in it or perhaps in a bag together, they will cleanse and reactivate those crystals for you. The other one is my go-to because it's known as the angel stone as well, and that's selenite. And that again is another stone which is so powerful it can cleanse and recharge other stones. Okay? As I say, it depends on how in depth you want to get in it. Some people just want to wear it in a jewelry and get over it. And some people really want to know how they can get the best out of them. And by all means, do that, darlings, if it's something that's going to really float your boat. So moonlight and sunlight are the ways to charge your crystals. There is another way, but it's a lot of grief. You can bury them back into the earth for a certain amount of time. Some people do it for the phase of the full moon. Some people do it randomly. It's a bit griefy though, because you've got to wrap them in cloth, dig it, and I can't even dig it too much. And then, get them back up and get them back out. If you want to do that, by all means do it. But no, that's all right. The only time I ever bury them is if they're done. Like I said with the pre-night, I just put it back into the earth. And so that's how you look after them. Okay. Some crystals will be left best around you as well. So the ones that are good for just placing around the house, rose quartz is going to be your go-to. Now, rose quartz, I know it's a bit, but they do drill holes in them for you to put tea lights in, right? And I've got the most stunning lamp that's really huge that they've just a tiny hole put in the bottom where you can put a little bulb in. Rose quartz filters negative energy. Okay. It is known as the love stone. It works with the heart chakra and it opens your heart and heals your heart. It is a beautiful pink stone and it looks just as beautiful, rough or tumbled, polished. It filters negativity and pushes out positivity. It works along very well with Archangel Jophiel and Archangel Chamuel. Oh, I don't want to get too much involved. I'm starting to get the angels in now, aren't I? Basically, it is a stone of positivity and love. Okay. If I'm feeling down or if I feel like I just want to, get myself revved up a bit more or something's happened that's made me upset, straight in my bra, or I wear a rose quartz necklace and I light my tea light and my rose quartz every night anyway. I've got one in my lounge, one in my bedroom and one in my new office. I got my new office. Have a look on YouTube. I'm so excited. So rose quartz is a brilliant stone for positivity, balance, love, and all that kind of lovely. Just Google it and you'll find out all the other properties. Okay. And it also can attract love as well if you're looking for your soulmate. The other one I'm looking at now, and I've got about 7 million pieces I can see, I'm only joking, is selenite. I've got a selenite tower, and this is a really good tip for anybody who lives in the Southwest. In Wookey Hole, they've got a crystal shop, right? They have no idea how expensive crystals are. And I got a selenite lamp. It's about nearly 2 foot high. It was £30, which is ridiculous. If you go to Glastonbury, it'll be about 300. And so selenite is known as the angel stone. It allows you to connect up with higher dimensions, i.e. ascended masters, angels, okay? It can take you up to the crystal palace very easily if you're meditating with it. It is a stunning stone. If you move it in sunlight, it projects the sun through its beautiful white, shiny, crystalline look. It is, oh my God, I love it. I've got jewelry. I have it. I have a huge egg and a tower right next to my bed. I have it sit next to me when I'm watching the television. I have it next to me everywhere in my office. I use it to try and heal Teddy, my dog. It is just the most beautiful stone. It's delicate and I adore it. I've mentioned amethyst. Again, fantastic all-rounder stone for healing. It's particularly good for if you're grieving or you're sad. It helps you to lift your energy, perhaps inspire you along with Archangel Azrael to go and get counseling. It is a superb stone for opening your third eye and spiritual and psychic development. It is also a superbly excellent stone to protect children at night from spirit contact. I know it's really weird, but it kind of opens doors and closes them. It's a very, very effective, very handy stone, and it has many, many properties, and it's bright purple and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love amethyst. Again, I have it everywhere. And I've got it in all sorts of ways, shapes, or forms. It's particularly beautiful in, as I say, I talked about the cavern earlier. You can get just lumps of it, and they just have got triangular, almost stalagmites of it. And oh my, it's just absolutely dreamy. You can tell I like crystals, don't you? Clear crystal quartz, as I said, is excellent for cleansing stones. It is great to suck up and absorb energy from electromagnetic field. Get it out, Nicky. Stop drinking gin. I'm joking. And it's excellent for cleansing. It's healing. It's an all-rounder, the same as agates are. Brilliant healing stones. Now, the thing is, I could go on and on and on and sound like an audio crystal Bible. So that's not really what I'm supposed to be doing on this one because I'll bore you as well. So the best thing to do if you are interested in crystals, please go along. And it's no commission, by the way, just in case you think I'm trying to flog a crystal Bible. But there are many lovely guides out there. As I say, I always go with Judy Hall. But if you're interested, go out there and start going into the journey of crystals. Now, earlier on, I said to you I have a tip for you on how to get cheap crystals, right? Oh, God, I hope nobody who owns aquariums or fish places listens to this. If you go into an aquarium shop, it's like fish tanks. When you go into them, a lot of the big ones that are like garden centres, do you know what I mean? You go in and they've got the tanks and the fish and they've got all the accessories and all the rest of it. Couldn't even get them in pet shops, I'm not sure actually. But I just go to the local aquarium, which is like a huge garden centre, but it's for fish, right? And reptiles. So you go in there, and what they do is they have huge raw lumps of crystals, right? I couldn't believe it. I thought it was fake when I first walked in there. And then when I picked them up, I'm like, oh my God. And this was by pure accident. I'd gone in there with a friend who was looking at getting a fish tank, right? And I'm like, what the hell? And I've gone over there and there's these huge, literal huge, like steel boxes full of it. And I'm talking lumps bigger than your hand, like huge lumps, like doorstops. Some of them nearly a foot high. And I'm like, and they're like sizes of pyramids. And then you've got small bits. And do you know what they use them for? They use them for decoration in the fish tanks, right? So I'm like, oh my God, you're joking. If you went to a New Age shop or somewhere like Glastonbury, you would have paid hundreds for one piece, right? So what they do is you weigh them and then you take, it's a bit like, when you weigh your vegetables at the grocery store. And you literally then, I'm talking American now, aren't I? It's because I'm going to Orlando supermarket. And you basically then pay for what the weight is. So I'm thinking this is going to cost a fortune. It's going to cost a fortune. And I can't. I think, what did I have? Oh, I've got loads of them. I've got them out in the garden. I've got them in the house. I've got them as doorstops, right? So I said, oh, how many? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's 16 quid. And I had like a carrier bag. I had a whole bag full of crystals. I couldn't believe it. That's your little tip. Go to your aquarium shops, find out where they are, and see if they use crystals for, see if that was a massive lump of amethyst. I'm going to believe it. They use it for tank decoration. And they think 'cause it's just rough lumps of crystal. I don't know. They just don't realise the price of them. Absolute gold mines sitting there. So have a look in your aquarium shops if you want like big lumps of them. As I say, they do small lumps as well. But oh my God, what a bargain. I could be wrong. They could have got wind of it by now, but the one down here hasn't. So I just keep quiet and go in there and buy them. Have a shop around. I can't really recommend anywhere online. Crystal Vault's a really nice little shop. I bought a few bits from there. Have a look on Etsy because there's a lot of Indian sellers from India, obviously, that provide beautiful stones at a really reasonable price. And there's lots of private sellers as well. Some crystals may not vibrate with you very well. Now, I'm an earth angel crossed with an elemental. I'll most redo a completely new podcast about what I'm talking about right now. And so I like things of the earth so that I can, one, ground myself because I have to deliver knowledge to humanity, but then I can also connect with the divine. What I cannot connect with is extraterrestrial energy. I have had an incarnation on another planet. I know that because I've been shown it. However, for some reason, I cannot go near meteorite energy. I cannot do it. So when I first grabbed hold of a moldavite, I instantly felt sick, started sweating and shaking, and I felt like I wanted to throw it. It's like kryptonite to me, to Superman. It's just even looks like kryptonite, to be fair. I cannot stand it. I've got a whole case of it that I'm going to be taking Orlando to the conference because obviously there's going to be a lot of extraterrestrial connection there. And I thought I want to help aid people to get into that zone. So I bought a load of moldavite and I can't even touch it. How funny is that? So beware that if there's some stones that you go near and you just think, nah, don't force yourself because they just don't naturally vibrate with your frequency. Okay. So don't force yourself onto it. You know, if you look up something, and it says, yeah, you know, go for this stone. And you thought, oh no, I must have it because it says have it. No, just don't have it. It's like, for instance, there are many crystals for cancer to help alleviate cancer symptoms. And the thing is that some of them are very gentle stones and others are really hardcore. Some of them pack a punch. And believe me, again, I thought, nah, until I started feeling them. Things like malachite and moldavite, nah. Can't go near them and I still can't. And now and then I try and hold them and I can't. So just beware of that, especially if you're sending crystals to people. You know, I remember I was going to send a specific crystal to someone that had just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And the lady went, oh no, that's a bit harsh, that one. You need something a bit more gentler. I'm like, I didn't even have a clue. You know, there's stones to help aid pregnancy. There's just every crystal for every possible thing you will need. So I really hope that you feel very crystalled up now, my darlings, because that's just a real gentle, easy guide into starting your crystal journey. I totally and wholeheartedly recommend it. Not only do they look beautiful in your house if you get like big lumps of them and the ornate ones, but they really, really do assist you and do what they say on the tin. So give it a go if you haven't got crystals in your life. If you've got them packed in a drawer, I don't know why I've just seen this, packed in a drawer, collecting dust, get them out, polish them up, cleanse them, reactivate them and get them working for you. Because even if, you know, you're not a believer or you don't actively see what's working with it, let it do its thing because they really are one of nature's gifts from Mother Gaia who wants to help you on this human experience. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let me know. The most important thing for these podcasts is for you to leave reviews to let us know and give us feedback on what you felt about the podcast. I am always open to what you would like, what you would, what you'd like to hear about. By all means, you can email me or by all means, leave comments below. on my YouTube channel, because what happens is a couple of weeks later, this podcast will go onto my YouTube channel. So please leave comments below there, like and subscribe, because it's all lovely, making this community a lot bigger. The other thing is as well is that I will be bringing guests on very, very soon. Obviously, it's been very busy. As you know, I've been away and now I'm going away to work in Orlando. And so when I get back, I will start bringing in some incredible guests that already I've spoken with or are happy to come on. So we will be going into video podcasts soon as well. So I hope you continue sharing the journey with me. And I'm just going to leave it at that and say thank you for listening. Let me know what you think. Hit those stars and let me know how you want to review this. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. And I really, really do very much look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until the next time, I'm sending you all love, keeping it real, Nicky Alan.